by award-winning filmmaker Oshoveli Shipoh and executively produced by Morina Ikosa. The film takes audiences on a moving journey through Namibia's Omusati region, unearthing untold stories and vanishing traditions and the resilient spirit of elders determined to keep their heritage alive. Today we're joined by the creative minds behind this powerful project to talk to us about the vision, challenges and the cultural significance of telling these stories on film. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Well, Osha, it's always lovely having you. I must commend you. You do really incredible work. So anything that comes from this gentleman, Mona, we know is going to be something to look forward to. But what inspired you to create, Echoes of Omusati? Why is it an important story to tell now?
This was actually Mona's idea. Yeah, she was the one who actually approached me, and she told me, "Yo, let's do this," you know. And then, as time has gone by, we've really been putting our heads together, and we've been brainstorming on ways to get the narrative right and put together a story that would actually be quite compelling, you know. So the whole idea behind that contrast of the evolution of modernization within the rural areas and the elders who are concerned about their the cultural traditions that grew up with the youth and how they're moving away from that and how they are trying to find ways of keeping it alive, keeping that heritage alive. Everything from doing a traditional basket weaving to how to plow and pound mahangu and stuff. So these are things that have sort of like in a way drifted away from the modern youth who are more seeking urbanization, and so it helps us put some perspective and reality to the whole issue. Well, Mona, you've clearly chosen the best of the best to work with.
I have indeed.
In your own words, explain Echoes of Omusati to us.
I think it's just important to state why I actually thought of it. I was intrigued by the fact that Omusati has two kingdoms, the Okwaluthi and the Kwambi, no, not the Kwambi, the Nganjera kings. And apart now from the Ndonga king. So we've got three kingdoms in the Ovambo tribe, but then two of them are in Omusati. And the Kwaluthi people are like an enigma. You don't really know them. We don't really know what, we can't even differentiate sometimes between the dialects from people from there. So I think that's what initially drew me to just sort of understand this king and what has kept him. He's over 90 now. What has kept him, and he's ruled for 60 years. So, but however, as we started shooting, it sort of took a life of its own, right? And we realized, look, Omusati is bigger than just the Kwaluthi king. It's the people that make this region, and who are these people? What are they about? Because a lot of Namibians don't really know, because they're also the furthest away from the Ovambo people. So they don't know, they don't know much about these people. Even us, our Ovambo people, don't know much about the Omusati people. So that's why we thought that let's introduce these people to the Namibians and to the world.
Producing a film to the both of you this is about cultural heritage requires, sensitivity as well as a responsibility in terms of accurately representing the culture that you're dissecting or unpacking. How did you ensure, the balance between honoring tradition and crafting a compelling documentary, Mona?
Sure, it's a learning process. I'm a first-time producer.
What is it that you don't do? We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. So I'm really just learning by. I think for us, what we did is just trying to capture. I think with the documentary, it's just really trying to capture the heart of the people. We haven't really gone into dissecting, you know, whether it'll create offense, because we're still in the production phase. So what you're seeing with what we wanted to release with the trailer, that's just pre-production, just to show that, look, we're busy with this. We have invested our money in this. We are fully invested, but we need the public to come on board to support us financially in making this production really alive and something Namibia can be proud of. So while we're still in a production phase, we are now trying to see how can we shape it? How can we make sure that it doesn't offend but brings out, you know, the cultural essence that we wanted to portray from the onset.
Would you like to add on to that, Osho?
Well, I mean, yeah, when I got introduced to the whole concept of this documentary, what had intrigued me was that when we were interviewing people, I was always learning something new, something which I always thought, okay, hey, I could have actually known this years ago. But my mind, my application to how we grew up doing things in the village wasn't there. So I learned something new. And this actually intrigued me to want to actually bring out a narrative around keeping these traditions alive, at least for like future generations to come, so that there's always something to hold on to that's very meaningful. Because right now, all the youth, well, not only the youth, but just in general, we are going into this like streamlined way of doing things where everybody's doing the same thing. Everyone has an iPhone, everyone has the same type of this and that, but we somehow forget the simplicity around how to do certain things, which has actually helped us build discipline in life. It has helped us build confidence. It has helped us build strength, and not only mentally, physically, but also emotionally as well. And it's really rooted in Omusati, you know. So that's why.
Nina, so Osho is from Omusati.
Yeah.
And so I think that also it's like a personal sort of, he has a personal, what must I say now? He's personally involved in it because he's the youth of Omusati. He was intrigued by constantly finding out more about his own culture that he didn't even know about. So
So of course you mentioned that you know there's two kingdoms in the Omusati, and the one is lesser known, and one would assume, isn't it because they wanted to be so? And you know, I'm sure have been people in the past that have said, we want to tell your story, what are you guys about, this, that, and the other. So how do you go about building trust now with this community as you're going into film them and uncover these stories about their culture and about the, you know, the heritage, Mona?
Look, I think just generally, people from what we've discovered now, they are very reserved, right? According to the governor who we interviewed, civilization sort of came towards lost towards them because, I mean, they're the furthest. However, these are also, the Omusati region was the battlefield. That's where the battlefield for our independence happened a lot. So you can just imagine the trauma, the loss, and everything that has happened in that region. I mean, Ongulumbashe, what we will be celebrating next week Tuesday, is literally in the Omusati region. So I think it's part of their nature. They're very reserved people, very smart people, very observant people. But yeah, they're not people who like, for example, I'm in Donga speaking, and Donga people are known to document things. So we write books, but you don't find it in that side of the world per se. So, for example, the Omusati people in school speak Oshindonga because there are no books written in their dialect, for example. So it's not a natural thing for them to tell their own stories. Yeah.
Osho, what were some of the challenges you faced while, filming all of this in the Omusati region?
It's really sort of compiling the diverse stories of all the elders that we interviewed, because it had me really thinking about, okay, so what narrative can we actually tell? Because each one is giving a personal story, each one is giving a personal journey, each one is giving a personal past and a future, and each one gave different perspectives. So how I came about this was that after listening to everybody's interviews, I somehow found a thread in everyone's interview where I was like, aha, this is it. It's about heritage. It's really about, if you hear these elders talk, it's about how do we still maintain what we've been having for hundreds of years to the new generation of people who are sort of moving away from it and moving to urban places, and how can we still protect our pride? How can we still protect what has made us who we are? So that's how it has, yes, so that's how I came about the whole thing.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
I just saw the post and, of course, the announcement that the official trailer is going to be dropped on Friday. And just, the visual of the poster is what drew me in, and the title, Echoes of Omusati. But looking ahead towards the release, what impact you hope, that this film will have on conversations around cultural preservation, Osho?
That's a good question. What I would first of all want is to share our stories from Omusati, to the rest of the country and also the world once, we go further with the project, because there's so many beautiful things coming out of Omusati, past, history, and future that not everyone really knows about. So we would like to get that out. We would also want to honor the elders and those people who we interviewed as well, because for them it was really a personal thing. It was, they were so excited, they were so happy that we took time to reach out and look for them and find them and put them in front of a camera. So it's something that's going to live with them, for the rest of that time. And it's certainly something that's going to impact and not only educate, but sort of let people know that, okay, this is what Omusati is all about, but on top of that, this is how tradition should still be. Something as simple as getting into a traditional homestead. There's this place called Oshoto. You come there, it's like a reception area in the house. You come there, you sit, you have a meal, and then you sit and chat the whole evening there. Do people still do that? So we are trying to keep that preservation still alive and embrace really like that tradition, so that's why.
Beautiful. Mona, what do you hope both the Namibian and the international audience will take away from this project?
I think that Namibia, we are really a special nation. We're unique, and we have such a rich culture and rich heritage that is yet to be explored and has not really been fully explored yet properly. So I think it's, you know, on the map we're just like this 3 million people, but this 3 million people have different subgroups and tribes, and these tribes and subgroups are they're phenomenal. They've got amazing stories. I mean, one of the things that we were able to capture was the late Bishop Shangala, Bishop Shangala's father, right? So Saki Shangala's grandfather, who fought in the World War II, and he was still alive at the time that we recorded him, and then 3 weeks later he passed on.
Wow.
Right? So we were able to capture that, and it's something, and he had his whole uniform, his whole regala, and he was still able to salute with his, you know, with his gun. And so it's stuff like that where we've now captured that, because had we not probably been there, we wouldn't have had the story. And now we're able to say, look, in Namibia, we still had a Second World War veteran who was still alive, who was still sound in terms of his mind. He could still see, he could still walk. And that in itself was a miracle. And so I think those are the things that we want to share, things around. We interviewed last week Mr. Njamba. He's one of the prominent business people in Omusati, and he started the businesses there. And just to see the resilience that these guys had, and, you know, that would encourage, you know, current young business people that although the road is tough, you can do it, because they were doing business during the war, right? And they were giving supplies to the
Even
people.
before the war started, actually.
Yeah, before the war started,
Before
but it
the war
was
started,
even worse during the war, because now their shops would get raided, because now obviously they're supplying, whether it's soap or food, to the soldiers. But they endured, and I think in our culture now, and not wanting to, you know, the whole suicides and all of that, is, I think we need to build resilience. I think we need to build resilience, and I think documentaries like this would help to remind us that there were tough times, but they made it. So you can also make it.
Thank you, Mona.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're definitely looking forward to it. We're looking forward to the trailer on Friday, and of course the project coming out next year. Thank you so much for your time this evening and giving us just a little bit of a snippet on what to expect. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you.
Echoes of Omusati, A Forgotten Heritage. The documentary comes out in 2026, but on Friday, the trailer to the documentary will officially drop and be